Okay, I'm starting the timer now for 20 minutes. This problem is taken from one of Launch School's exercises. It says, write a method that takes an array as an argument and reverses its element in place, that is, mutate the array passed into this method. The return value should be the same array object. You may not use either reverse method. Okay. So the first thing we need to do is understand the problem. So we have to identify the inputs and outputs. So the input is an array. Looking at the test cases, I can see that, well, at least for these examples, there are arrays of strings and integers. And our output is supposed to be an array that is reversed. Okay, so the question is, what should be done with the input? Okay, given an array, I'm supposed to reverse the array without using either method to do so. So what needs to happen is that I need to put where the 1 is, I need to insert 4. And then where the 2 is, I need to insert 3. And where 3 is, I need to insert 2. And for the last one, I need to insert 1 where the 4 is. So I need to remove the last element. So remove last element and insert it at, because arrays use 0 indexing, I need to insert 4 at the 0 index position. So remove last element and insert it at 0 index position. And then I just keep going on in that same pattern until the array is fully reversed. And so for the second example, that should work because I need to remove z and put it where x is, so at the 0 index. And then I need to remove y. Actually, y will just stay in the same place since there's only 3 integers. And then, let's see, so I need to remove x, remove x, put it where z is. So that will end up actually shifting these two down after I've inserted it. So at that point, it should be reversed, I believe. So for the next example, there's only one element in the array, so that will just be returned as is. And for this last example, this is an array of strings, and it looks like, yeah, it should follow the same pattern. So again, we're going to remove the last element and insert it. Insert it at the 1 index position. And this should just continue for the last array. So for the first example, when I remove 4, I'll insert it in the 0 index, and then I'll have an array of 4, 1, 2, and 3. Then in the next iteration, I'll have, once I remove 3, I'll have an array of 4, 3, 1, and 2. Then on the next one, it should be 4, 3, 2, and 1. So that should work. Okay. Now I can start writing the algorithm. So I need to iterate over the array. So I think the best way to do that is to use size. So I can say use size and time. What that'll do is iterate over the array for the length of the array, and it'll pass in, I could pass in a block parameter to it that can represent where I want to put the elements. So use 7 times to iterate. The block parameter will be, I can call it index. Oh my goodness. There we go. So once I start iterating on the first iteration, index will represent 0. And the second one will represent 1, 2, and 3. So I could use that to put the elements in there. And then once I'm in the block, I can use insert and pass in 2 arguments to insert. I can pass in the index, and I need to pass in the element for which I need to insert it at that index. So for that, since I'm removing the last element, I can use pop to do that. So I can just say array pop, I'll remove the last element and insert it at index. Okay. And then once I'm done reversing the array, I can just return the array. Okay, so now we can start writing our code. I'm 6 minutes and 44 seconds in, so that's good. Alright, so dot size, dot times do, call the block parameter index, and just to test out that it will print out 0, 1, 2, and 3, I can just test out just these. 0, 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Alright, so that's good. So now I can just perform the actual reversing of the array. So I use insert. The first argument for insert represents where I need to put the element. So that will be the index. The second argument should represent what I want to put at that index. So since I'm removing the last array, I can use pop. Then, on the last line, I can put array to return it, and it should return all true. And it does. So I can uncomment a few of these here and double check. Well, not double check, but just to see that it matches. And it does. So that took me about 8 minutes, 10 seconds. It really helps to kind of outline before you actually write any code what you want to do and think through the problem and fully understand it. And so I feel like I pretty much followed my algorithm exactly, and it ran perfectly on the first try. So that's it.